Sonnet 18. It's a bit windy. 5 steps. First step, the rhyming couplets. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Clearly, we're in the realms of the love poem, and this gives life to thee. But what is it that gives life to thee? Let us find out. We will pursue this. The last words. Day, temperate, May, date. So, May, merry month of May, temperate, date. So we seem to be talking about late spring, so maybe the time for relationships and stuff. Shines dimmed, declines untrimmed. Shines dimmed, so an antithesis there. So it's bright, but then it's not. Declines untrimmed, so something falling apart, something fading away. Fade, owest, shade, growest. So we've got that word fade, owest, growest. Owest, something's owed to someone? I don't know, what stands out? At the end, see and thee. So, very much love poem words, see and thee. Let's split it into 4. So, a sonnet is 14 lines, and that's 3 groups of 4 and a rhyming couplet. So when we split it, it's going to look like this. Next, the breaths. So we breathe on sentence endings, which, like an entrance and an exit, a sentence ending is also a sentence beginning. Or, if you don't have any words to say, it's you continuing to listen and be alive. We know we're going to breathe at the start and the end though, so I put a forward slash at the start and the end. Then the end of the first sentence, we've got a question mark at the end of line 1. We've got a full stop at the end of line 2, a full stop at the end of line 4. Then into the second quatrain, it all ends with a full stop, untrimmed. And so just the second quatrain, a full stop at growest. So we're marking in the breaths there. And we'll just double check that there's not a sentence ending within the line. Sometimes you get a sneaky sentence ending halfway along. But this looks okay. Okay, so we've got the breaths you have to breathe marked out there. Now an even sonnet would normally breathe every other line. So let's look at if we've got any major punctuation. So after the full stop, exclamation mark, question mark of sentence endings, the next punctuation we're looking at is the colon, then the semicolon. Have we got any of those? Okay, line 2 of the second quatrain, we have a semicolon, excuse me. And we've got a lot of commas. So we do have a comma at the end of line 2 of the third quatrain. So let's just mark it in. Let's just be technical. And now that's giving us this kind of scheme, which looks about right. Now we're going to look at the Césures. The Césures are the natural break within the line. I don't have to sell my soul, who's already in me. So it's 2 phrases that make up a line. To be or not to be, that is the question. Is this a dagger that I see before me? We've got half and half. The quality of mercy is not strained. You get it. So phrase, phrase. The Césure, it's not a pause, it's not a breath. It's just that you flow through. You don't break up within a phrase. Ham actors do, and ham audiences like it, but we'll avoid that. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So, shall I compare thee? I'm going to mark it with a little V. When I'm typing, I use an asterisk. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So after lovely, rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Rough winds do something. What? They shake. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. And in all these technical things, we'll go for sense before we go for rules. You know, I'm just my co-op bag is causing chaos. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. That's quite clear. So we've got the first quatrain marked. So we would continue doing that with the rest of it. So we've got all that marked. So let's try and figure out what it's all about. Okay, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So a declaration of admiration. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves have all too short a date. The spring, the buds of May that are growing in the spring, they get troubled by these rough winds, and summer, perhaps the time for, if you like, the height of romance, it doesn't last forever. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. And sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. So sometimes maybe love fades or something like that. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, and maybe, every beautiful person from beautiful person sometimes says, no, I'm not going to fall in love with you. By chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. By chance, by some error maybe, or nature's, or the way we are, we just change our minds. Nature's changing course untrimmed, a bit rough, nature's changing course, we're likely to change our minds and things. But thy eternal summer shall not fade. So it's like your beauty, even though summer is short and the gold of heaven might come and go, your beauty will stay. Nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. And you won't lose the thing that makes you beautiful. And owest could be the sense in which of like you owe your beauty to the world. It's something like this. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade. And so you're not going to be cursed by death, that death's lurking above you, because you're going to shine brightly. When in eternal lines to time thou growest. Eternal lines, it's like, again, Shakespeare's always going on about having kids. Eternal lines, like your lineage growest eternally. Like your family tree keeps growing. So long as men can breathe, our eyes can see. So, as long as we have our senses, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. It's strange, really. It's shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves have all too short a date. Shall I compare you to a beautiful summer? No, because that fades and it's too short. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Sometimes the weather's a bit dodgy. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. So there's inconstancy in nature. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. That fair thou owest, that beauty that thou must pass on through your genes. It's something like this. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. And death can't consume you or get rid of you, because your lineage will live on forever. You will become eternal through your children, your love, what you owest. So long as men can breathe, their eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So, as all wise people know, this is true, and this gives you eternal life. You're better than a summer's day, because your beauty, unlike a changeable weather, will never die, because you'll live forever in your children. It's that kind of thing anyway, you know what I mean?